I was white in this game. It was a 30-minute game with no increment. Let's see if I can learn 4 or 5 things from my play. First thing I wanted to learn was better time management. I spent a great deal of time in the opening, and I think I want to average at least 2 moves per minute, 30 seconds a move in these kind of 30-minute games. That way I can get a 60-move game in. Probably with the ability to speed up at the end if it takes longer than 60 moves. Okay, my opponent played the dubious elephant gambit, d5. Okay, and it's advisable to take that pawn. e4 is probably not best play. White should pin the pawn. And now bishop e7 is a poor move, and already the computer says I have a plus 1.6 advantage. I take a second pawn, and I hang on to it for the whole game. Knight f6, I need a good place to put my queen. Queen a4 check, bishop blocks, and now I'm hitting the pawn on b7. Okay, he pushes his pawn forward. Bishop e2, castles, castles, bishop f5, knight c3, continuing to develop and protecting my d5 pawn. Knight bd7, d4, knight e4, continue to develop. And now he's attacking d5 again. I do have it protected, but I have a plan to protect it very solidly. I exchange knights on e4, and then I play c4. So I've solidified my 2-pawn advantage, but it has taken me over 10 minutes to get this plus 3.4 in the game. And I've only made 14 moves. So in 10 minutes, I think I want to make at least 20 moves, not just 14 moves. So I'm very, very far behind schedule here. Okay, b5 is an attempt to get some activity. I take the pawn, and the rook hits my queen, it moves aside, and he gets the pawn back. My bishop is under attack. I have to be careful. I can't guard it with the rook because there's a fork bishop to b4. So I drop the bishop back. Okay, and I'm attacking these pawns, so he drops his rook back for protection. And now I kind of blunder. And the thing I want to learn from this position is I have to spend more time thinking about what kind of moves my opponent wants to make. What does my opponent want to do in this position? And then I should prevent him from doing it. And so I should look around and decide where are his pieces going to go. And it shouldn't be too difficult to find this move, bishop to d3, forking the pawn and the rook. And if that pawn on c4 falls, then my whole strong mass of pawns in the center is weak. So I played a3 with the intent of keeping his bishop off of b4, but a much better move was queen to c3 to protect the d3 square. I should forget about these pawns and just consolidate my advantage. Okay, so I still have a 2-pawn advantage if I do that. So instead I played a3, and my opponent finds bishop d3. I decide to give up the exchange. I just can't bear to lose this c4 pawn, which is bolstering my d5 pawn. So I play knight to e5 to protect it and give up the exchange. The engine actually agrees and says I still have a good advantage, plus 1.8. Okay, I play a Zwischenzug, I hit his queen, and then I take the bishop back. Okay, rook e8. And here I make another mistake. Again, along the lines of I should be thinking about what my opponent wants to do. And what my opponent wants to do is attack my king. My king doesn't have a lot of defenders. My queen is misplaced. My knight is misplaced. And he has potentially 4 attackers that can come in to the king side. So one move he's probably planning is queen to f5, attacking my bishop and lining up with my king here, pinning my pawn. His knight can come in various ways. So I should have stopped that with the move bishop to c2. Okay, but instead I played knight to e5, centralizing my knight and allowing his queen to come to f3. Now, even though he's down a couple of pawns, he's got an initiative. He's got some attacking chances here, and the engine says he's already equal. Okay, I dropped my bishop back. It was under attack. I guard the f2 pawn. Bishop d6. Knight f3 was a mistake because it allows a powerful exchange sacrifice ripping open the f-file. But we won't go into that. My opponent didn't see that. He plays knight to g4. Okay, I played queen to c3 to start to defend the king side. Bishop takes h2, and I mistakenly take on h2. I should have let him have that pawn. I did see the move coming, but I didn't analyze the full impact of this knight takes e3. My pawn is pinned right now, so I can't take back. So we just exchanged bishops. Okay, I get out of check. He exchanges. Then he makes a nice move, rook to e2. He's attacking f2. He's threatening a mate in 2. So I block it with the knight. He exchanges a pair of rooks. He forces an exchange here. And then I get lucky that he blunders rook takes f2 and allows me a fork. I'm attacking his rook and threatening mate on the back rank. Okay, so he gives up his rook for a pawn. I take back. He checks, move over, and he gets loofed. Okay. I'm really low on time at this point, 3 minutes and 25 seconds, so I've fallen way behind schedule. I should have at least 13 minutes left, according to 2 moves per minute schedule, but I don't. So I play this ending pretty badly, even though I should be winning with my knight for pawn advantage. He does have 3 passed pawns, but I should be able to get a passed pawn and make some threats to queen. Okay, queen to f4. Check. Knight blocks, also guards the pawn on c4. G5. Queen falls back. He starts to push his pawns, and the computer says I have a +7 advantage. I move my king over to guard the knight to release my queen. f4. Check. Check. And now I make a bad decision. I debate whether or not to play defensively and guard against these pawns, or grab this pawn in queen 1. And without much time on my clock, I make the wrong decision. So now it says the game is a draw. In fact, I had a nice simplifying move. I could have played queen to e4 check, getting the queens off the board. I saw that move, but I didn't correctly assess this position as winning. It should be pretty easy to win. The king and knight should be able to hold back these 3 pawns while I'm threatening to queen 1 of my own. Okay, so I don't go for that trade. I grab the pawn, which is a big mistake. He pushes, check, takes my knight. And now here I make another mistake. I check. I just keep going for checks. I've got 1 minute and 40 seconds left. I'm thinking about perpetual check or something, but I needed to take that advanced f3 pawn before he guards it. Instead, I check and let him guard it. So another mistake. Check. Check. And he correctly decides to exchange queens, which is not obvious at all because we're both going to queen here. But the point is his f-pawn is just too quick. Okay, so he's going to support that for another queen. And with just 1 minute and 20 seconds left, I make a game-losing blunder. Computer says black has a strong advantage anyway, but I lose my queen, and I resign. All right, thanks for watching. Hope I learned something.